She's been living in her car for nearly 2 months because she can't afford a place to live.
So listen, I knew this problem was going to get bad because it's easy math. When you think about an ever increasingly expensive America and how so many seniors are having to go back to literal work, and how many of them, because Social Security can no longer cover the cost of these high rents, we knew that it was going to be the most vulnerable people amongst us that started to suffer first. And obviously, it is our seniors, our children, and the disabled. And let me tell you, as someone who runs a community pantry that I started a little while ago, and it's becoming more and more and more popular, and I get so many homeless people. I get so many unhoused people that come there. And for one, I think that's a couple of reasons. Because one, they can travel, because a lot of them have cars, but some of them don't. Some of them walk up, some of them come up on bicycles, but a lot of them do have cars. And in the winter months, we make sure we try to have blankets for them. But our pantry, our library pantry, it specializes in shelf-stable food. So they can get a lot of food that they can kind of store in their vehicles, or, like go drive up to a gas station and maybe heat up. Like those little Hormel shelf-stable dinners and the Uncle Ben's shelf-stable dinners and soups and stews and chili, that kind of thing, especially in the winter months. We have crackers and snacks and things and juice, things of that nature for them. And then two, we don't typically put a limit on that. We just, as it empties out, I just refill it. And then also too, because a lot of unhoused people cannot get identification because they are unhoused. They don't have an address. And a lot of them can't afford a P.O.Box. And so if you don't have identification, then you can't use any of the standard pantries, because they want everyone to have identification. Because, and mind you, they don't do that to discriminate against anyone. They do that because you have to, that's how they get paid. That's how they get funding. And because donations, our library pantry is solely dependent on donations, I can kind of have my own rules in place. So we just never turn anyone away. Now, our library pantry, we do advertise that it is for just the community only. This community that I live within, this cul-de-sac. And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people use it. But when we see homeless people, we do not turn them away. And you can always tell when they're unhoused because there are always lots of items in their car. Sometimes they're wearing the same clothing that they wore the last time that they were here, that kind of thing. And a lot of them, unfortunately, have children with them. And I don't want to see anyone in this situation. But America really should be ashamed of itself. That this is the way that we treat our citizens. That not everyone in our nation has access to food, clothing, and shelter. And these things should be basic human rights. And because America is on this disaster course with anti-intellectualism, hatred, rage, mental illness, and racism, the discrimination is at an all-time high. And in the meantime, our veterans are not being protected. Our children are not being protected. Our elderly are not being protected. And our disabled are not being protected. And not enough of us care. And we should be ashamed.